Okay, welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and today I'm going to be reviewing a rock group. It's a band I'm completely unfamiliar with. You know, it's a supergroup consisting of members from other bands I'm completely unfamiliar with. You know, I've heard a lot of other YouTubers give this band a lot of high praise, and if I'm not mistaken, this band is very big in Europe. The band is called W.e.t, and it's an acronym, so it's made of three bands that are bands from the three primary members. So those are Work of Art, Eclipse, and Talisman. The name of the album is Retransmission. It was just released on January 22nd, 2021. Now this one reminds me a lot of like those 80s album-oriented rock. Think of bands like Journey, Survivor, a little Def Leppard maybe. So the band is Jeff Scott Soto, Eric Martinson, and Robert Soul. Really? Let me start again. Sorry. It's an American thing. The band is Jeff Scott Soto, Eric Martinson, and Robert Soul. So Jeff Scott Soto first became famous as a vocalist for Yngwie Malmsteen in the 80s. He's worked with Axel Rudi Pell, Fergie Frederiksen, and Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And from 1990 to 2007, he's been with the group Talisman. And that band has 7 studio albums, and Jeff Scott Soto has released 10 solo albums. Eric Martinson, he's the guitarist and vocalist for the band Eclipse. So that's a melodic rock band from Stockholm, Sweden. And that band has 4 albums. Robert Soul, he's the guitarist and keyboardist for the band Work of Art. And they've been they've been kind of like on and off since 1992. Jeff Scott Soto has released his albums with the record company Frontiers Records. He was approached by the label to write a few songs with Eric Martinson in 2008, and that's when they formed the band W.e.t. They released another album, they released their self-titled debut in 2009. They released a follow-up called Rise Up in 2013, and a live album in 2014. Okay, I'm going to go over my top 3 tracks for the album. Then after that, I'm going to recommend some classic albums that I feel have like a similar sound. So the first track I recommend is Big Boys Don't Cry. The song opens up with the guitar riffs. They're like right out of the 80s. You hear the keyboard presence and the backing vocals in the chorus. It reminds me a lot of like Def Leppard. Like I said, it has really this mid-80s sound to it. The second one is One Final Kiss. I mean, this song would be perfect for a Rocky montage. Just imagine hearing the song Rocky training for that big fight. You know, if there's ever another Rocky sequel down the road, you know, this would be like the perfect song to use. The third one I'd like to recommend is Got to Be About Love. This is a ballad. It has like a more of like a country feel, but it's also one of those ballads that reminds me of a lot of those like 80s hard rock or 80s hair metal bands. They released their power ballads. It has that sound. Really like it. It's melodic. It's very catchy. Really like the guitar tone, the guitar solos. So it's a really good track. If you're a fan of 80s style album-oriented rock, I really think you'd like this band. So I'm going to give this a final score of an 8 out of 10. The songs are very catchy. Really enjoy listening to it. I'm not really sure if it's an album that's going to stick with me throughout like the rest of the year, but definitely enjoyed listening to it. So I recommend it. So I'd like to recommend a few classic albums that have a similar sound. So the first one is Yngwie Malmsteen, Rising Force. I think the overall sound of that album is like melodic hard rock, a lot of keyboards, and it's a good example of like how the band sounds. You may also recognize the vocalist. The next one I'd like to recommend is Def Leppard's Pyromania. So I think the hard rock sound and the use of the backing vocals remind me a lot of this band. The songs are very like catchy, melodic, and they also have like this hard rock edge. And the third one is Survivor, Eye of the Tiger. So like I said, this would be like the perfect like music for a Rocky montage. Has that really keyboard heavy 80s sound. So for that reason, I chose this album here. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I mean, have you heard this band W.e.t? Have you heard their other albums? So let me know, what do you think? And as always, please like, please subscribe. I upload pretty much every day. I do classic rock, I do metal, I do album-oriented rock. I pretty much do a little of everything from Nervosa to Billy Joel. So please like, subscribe, and I will see you soon in the next one.